Hello, Von Roll.
Hello.
Beefcake, 13.
13?
That's an unlucky number.
No.
We're going through with it. We're not changing it.
13 is my lucky number.
Good, because we're not skipping to 14.
I was born on the 13th. I was born on Friday the 13th.
Were you really?
Yep.
Wow, you're born under a bad sign.
Yep.
We're going to talk about a blog.
Which one?
Writer's Block Isn't Real. Have you read it?
I have not.
You have not. I was listening to Seth Godin last weekend. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah.
He is a pretty sharp guy.
He is a very sharp guy.
And he was on a podcast, and he was talking about writer's block or lack thereof. And what he said was that the term writer's block wasn't coined until the late 1930s, early 1940s. Before that, there weren't many people who made a living writing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There probably weren't a whole lot of people going around writing.
And so his point was that writer's block wasn't a thing until people started publicly writing. What he got from that, and what I took from that, is that it's not a thing. It's a term. It's a term that we use as if to say we have writer's block the same way that we have warts or we have the flu. We put that on ourselves when really it's just a comfort thing saying I'm scared to write anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really believe that I've ever had writer's block as much as I've been afraid to continue putting down on paper what I'm putting down on paper because I don't want the audience to not like it.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You don't think what you're going to write is good, so you come up with this thing called writer's block to get you out of it.
And it creates a real problem for me. You like to write.
I do. I love to write, actually. I don't do it very much. And I wouldn't call it writer's block. I think about it way too much. And I try to have, so you versus me, you can just sit down and write whatever. I could sit down and write whatever, but when I start writing, I'm like, where am I going with this? What do I really want to say with this? What am I doing? I think way too much about it. And I think while I'm writing, I'm thinking about what people are going to think about it while I'm writing. And then, so it has to be perfect.
That's my point exactly. And so that stops you from producing what could be really good material for fear of what other people think.
Yes.
And so second guessing yourself is a problem for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Is it a daily problem for you in your day-to-day life outside of writing?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Definitely second guess myself a lot.
Another point that he made was in reference to Bob Dylan, and I can't remember the guy's name who wrote Hallelujah. He was saying that Bob Dylan wrote Subterranean Homesick Blues in 15 minutes.
Right.
And the guy that wrote Hallelujah, it took him 6 years.
Uh-huh.
And that's not to say that Bob Dylan is 5 years and however many days smarter than the other guy.
Yeah.
It's just that Bob Dylan is Bob Dylan. If you go to Bob Dylan's concert and you want to hear Lay Lady Lay exactly like it is on the record, and you don't get that, and you're unhappy, Bob Dylan doesn't want you at his concert. You're not his audience.
Uh-huh.
Seth Godin was talking about, what audience that you're trying to captivate. And if you worry about captivating all audiences, you'll never get anywhere. You'll never go forward.
Right. Absolutely.
And he said, Louis Armstrong, he said he may have had however many tracks that were successful out of a large number of them. He couldn't get to the good ones without that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say before is Bob Dylan wrote a ton of songs. So many songs. And I can compare that to you writing. You write a lot. A lot of times those songs may not be the greatest song that was ever written, but he's continuously writing songs. Eventually, a certain percentage of those are going to be really good. Some of them are going to be pretty crappy. And writing, I feel like, is the same way. You could write something every day. And I tried this before one time, trying to write 500 words every day, where I forced myself to write. Some days it was really good, and some days it was kind of bad. I guess what I'm trying to say is you have to And this applies to a lot of different areas in your life outside of writing, but you have to start, or else you'll never get done.
I think that the lesson here is a one-word lesson, and it is continue.
Right.
Continue, continue, continue.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the blogs that I put out, they change while I'm writing them. I'll start writing and I'll say, this is going to be awesome. And then I get to the end of it, and it's just so hard to press the button because it seems so bad. And I never really know what kind of response I'm going to get, but most of the time I'm wrong.
Right.
So it's hard for anyone to judge what sort of effect they're going to have on another person because there's just too many variables that go into a person's emotions from day to day. You don't know what's going to hit home with somebody and what's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally see that.
Do you agree with me that writer's block is just a convenient term for fear?
That's correct.
Okay, good. I like it when you agree with me more than disagree.
I agree with you. I agree strongly, I think, with that, and it's the same thing as I'm not going out and starting this business because I am afraid of either failing or I'm afraid of what people are going to say about it.
Well, I talk a little bit about that in the blog as well, which is feeling stuck. And I compare writer's block to being stuck. And I compare the two in that they're both fictional. You're never stuck in life. Now, I know what it's like to feel stuck, and that's because all of the options suck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you feel stuck when every step that you're going to make hurts. And it's a matter of figuring out which one hurts the least, but continuing to take steps.
Right.
And I think that suffering from writer's block and being stuck in your life is just sexier than saying, I suffer from fear, self-doubt, and depression.
I'm scared of what people think about me.
Yeah, that's what I'm suffering from. I'm suffering from the disease of being scared to death. No, it's just better to say I'm stuck in a rut.
Yep.
Do you use the term stuck? Have you ever been stuck in your life or believed yourself to be stuck?
I'm sure that I probably have.
In hindsight, were there options? Were there things that you could have done?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So you feel like there's always something that you can do?
Yeah, I do.
When you wake up each day, are you excited about moving forward, or is there hesitation and some doubt? Do you wake up more on the energetic, let's go get them, things are going to be great, or are you more cautiously optimistic?
I would say cautiously optimistic. It depends. It depends on, I go up and down. I'll go through periods of time where I'm like that, where I'm like on fire and everything is awesome. And then there are other times where I'll go through a period of time where I'm like, oh shit, I hope what I'm doing works.
How do you think I wake up every morning?
I imagine you, that's a funny question. I imagine that you wake up at 100% every single day. Like, I'm about to go crush everything that I do.
Wildly optimistic.
Wildly optimistic, yes.
I am wildly optimistic. Uh-huh. And I have to be, because otherwise I'll be incredibly angry and pessimistic.
Right.
I don't think there's an in-between there. I just can't afford to be still. I can't afford to find that rut. Because if I'm not optimistic and looking for what's ahead of me, then I'm looking for the rut to crawl into.
Right.
And I'm looking for people to say, oh, Wilson, we feel so bad for you. This shouldn't have happened to you.
Right.
You're too good of a guy. Why me?
Nah, you don't want people to say that to you.
Yeah, I think I do. I do.
I think I do too.
I think that we all, we all like attention. I mean, however you got to go about getting attention, you're going to go about getting attention some way.
Yeah.
So nobody doesn't like attention. I heard a Henry Rollins quote, and he was talking about moving forward and opportunity and creating opportunity. And he was talking about in his life that he's gone to gigs and they've performed in front of 4 people where they've told themselves, if there's 2 people here, I'm packing up. We're going home. If there's more than 2, then we'll stay and we'll give it to them.
Yeah.
In those little 4 and 10 and 50 people audiences is where they experienced the most growth. That's where they had the most fun.
Yeah.
And that's where they felt like they impacted their audience. What he said in there was, whether it's an audience of 5 or 50,000, you have to go out there and give them your best. And if you can't give them your best, then go out there and give them your worst. But you must give them something.
Right.
And I love that, because give them your best or your worst. It doesn't make any difference. Give them something, and that puts you ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Because most people won't give. Most people would watch it go by and miss that opportunity. And I know that because I've been most people for a lot of years.
Right.
A lot of ideas, little action.
Well, I think it takes some time if you're not, if you haven't been that way for a long time. It takes a lot of work to learn how to see opportunity. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I think that seeing opportunity is a gift. Some people know how to do it and some don't. I'm not good at it.
But
I don't see opportunity as much as I'm not good at identifying opportunity,
mm-hmm.
but I am good at trying to find opportunity in things.
Right.
Often it's not very accurate, but it's still exciting trying to find that opportunity, even when it falls face down.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I was still excited. I made it through the day excited.
Yeah. I think you can learn it, though. I think it's something that over time you can learn to be more aware and see opportunity in front of you. I'll tell you a quick story. About 7-8 years ago, my friend Doug asked me, he was one of my coaches. I was in the gym working out, and he knew that I had an IT background, and he was like, did you ever think about selling a product online to teach people how to do computer stuff? And I was like, no. Why would anybody want to buy any kind of computer instruction product from me? If you take that today, oh my God, I should have immediately went out and made a product to put on the internet, because I did have that knowledge. I just wasn't aware of it.
Did you feel like everybody else had that knowledge too? Why would you think that was a bad idea?
At the time, I didn't think I could do anything special that anybody else couldn't figure out how to do.
Yeah. That's that self-deprecating mindset that I go into, and I think a lot of people go into, and just believe, well, if I can do it, then everybody else can do it. And if I know how to do it, everybody else does too.
Right. I couldn't possibly know something good or special.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And not knowing that the people like me are out there, and they don't know how to find the post button on Facebook or the send button on an email.
Yeah. And so people just don't realize how many people are out there and how many niches there are or whatever. And there are people that need to know things that you know. It doesn't matter how trivial it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's important to value yourself and what you do, and it's important to value your qualities as a being, and not only what you know how to do, just what you are, what you've been through. Everyone is interesting. I'm not trying to sound like a Tony Robbins or somebody that's trying to, uplift an audience, but it's truth. Every story is interesting. And it's not as interesting to you because you've lived it.
Yeah.
Your story is not interesting because it's not interesting to you, because you've already gone through it, so it's not new. When you hear somebody else's story, it'll be so foreign to your life that you can't help but be fascinated with it.
Right.
And I think that the way that you tell it is important. And if you tell your story as being fascinating and interesting, then you are fascinating and interesting by definition.
Yep.
There is no way not to be fascinating and interesting if you are fascinating and interesting.
And then you can go write about it.
And then you can write about it. You can do whatever you want to with it. And I can't believe that what I do every day is what I do every day. I never thought that I would be blogging or writing in any capacity.
Yeah.
And it provides me with so much fulfillment and so much fun and so much connection that is available to anybody.
Yeah.
And so whether it's writing or running or name any hobby, there's connection and excitement along with that. There is no connection and excitement on the couch.
That's a quote. That's a tweet.
That's a tweet. I'm into Twitter. That's a good segue into Twitter, because we're going to wrap this up. I'm all over Twitter now.
I have noticed.
I'm tweeting.
I have noticed.
And we're getting an audience.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
I see the followers going up.
I want more followers. And you can find us at Lift Run Long. And you need to find us at Lift Run Long. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. And we also have a Facebook group that you can ask to join, and that's fun.
A special private group.
Special private group. We'll give you a passcode and a handshake. It's really something. What else do we have?
We've got weekly challenges.
I'll give you a 3-month challenge. Vaughn has implemented a 3-month deadlift program.
Yep.
That you can purchase, and he'll give you a PDF and some videos and some instructional tutorials on how to do the lifts, how to do the movements, and kind of what you can expect each and every week.
Yep.
And you can also get coaching from him, one-on-one coaching through Skype or phone calls or however you need to learn. That's available.
You said that perfectly.
Didn't I do a good job?
Great job.
I'm learning, man. I'm learning. And then there's also Reddit. Don't forget Reddit.
Reddit.com/r/lift-heavy-run-long.
And we have 6 subscribers now. So I think that's
moving up.
You and I plus 4. So whoever you are, that 4, you are wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I want to know who those people are. That's the only thing that bothers me.
We're going to post this, and then there's going to be like a naked picture or some kind of hate mail on her. It's some troll.
Exactly.
We've got a 24-hour race this weekend.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Amanda and I are going to do it. We got a lot of people from Lift Heavy Run Long who are attending, and it's just 24 hours. It's a 1-mile loop. And you just do as many loops as you want to do. It's really a social event, fun event.
You can hang out in our tent in between loops.
Yep. We're going to have like a killer aid station. We're going to have a campfire. We're going to have tent set up, and we'll have some fuel there for you. The good people at Tailwind. Are you familiar with Tailwind Nutrition, Vaughn?
I am. I've never actually taken it. I've never used it before, but I know what it is.
I never not use it.
Yeah.
Every run that I go on that's going to be more than about 5 miles, I've got my Tailwind.
Yeah, I knew that you used it. I've just never tried it myself.
And I love it. And if it can get my fat ass through a 50-mile race, then it's a solid product.
Are you going to do like a Facebook Live?
I don't think I'll get into all that. Then I'll get caught up in that, and it'll be an hour. I'll have some kind of technical difficulty, and I just won't be able to get off it.
I would do it if I was going to be there. I'm going to be in Disney World. Maybe I'll do a Facebook Live from Disney World.
Well, if I was going to be in Disney World, I would be telling you to do a Facebook Live from the 24-hour race.
Right.
So that's really easy to tell somebody to do, but then when I'm there, I'll either forget to do it or I'll file something up. You know how I am, man.
Yeah, I know.
I just can't get into all that. I've already got to set up a tent, and I've got to set up a tent and bring stuff.
Here's how you do it. You take your phone, put it on the Facebook Live, and give your phone to somebody else and let them walk around with it.
Nope.
You got to have your phone.
I'm not going to do it. I've decided I'm not going to do it. I don't
That's
care.
Because I told you to do it. I shouldn't have told you.
Don't tell me what to do. And nippies, nipple covers. I do nothing without those. I don't run a mile without.
Yeah,
nipple
go
covers.
through you got a lot of stuff from some folks.
Yeah, from Tailwind and Nippies, and I think Fit Aid is going to participate and send us some stuff. We'll see how that plays out. But
that's awesome.
Nippies sent us 100 sample packs with customized for LHRL and a discount code.
Do they have a website?
Yes, nippies.com, NIPEAZE.com.
All this time I've been thinking it was Nippies.
No, Nip-Ease, like ease on
I
your
totally
nipples.
get it now.
And our music. If you'll notice, we're doing some music on the intro and the extro, or whatever you call what we're kind of doing now, like the segue into leaving. Clearly, I have no background in any of this, but
hey, we're getting so good at it. We're getting professional.
We got people sending us stuff. We got a band that's willing to let us borrow their music.
Look at us.
The Central Standards. They're one of my favorite bands. And they're just some really chill guys, and they were kind enough to say, listen, anything on this album, you're welcome to it. They didn't even ask us to mention the name of their band. They just said, knock yourself out. Enjoy it.
Oh, well, we're going to mention them.
Absolutely. The Central Standards, and the music is off of the Sputnik CD. So go to iTunes and download the Sputnik CD, Sputnik, I believe, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, and while you're at iTunes, you can give us a 5-star rating.
Yeah, go do that. Give us a 5-star rating. I gave myself a 5-star rating, and I gave us a review, and I said these guys are great. These guys are funny. These guys are involved. I know this because I'm part of the show, and I never thought I would stoop to this level, but here I am, and it was taken down.
Was it really?
Yeah, they took me off.
Who took you off?
I guess iTunes or Apple.
That's weird.
Isn't it, though? I don't blame them.
Look
Whatever.
Look at you starting controversy.
Controversy. That's me. Always causing controversy. So go to iTunes, subscribe, and write us a review. Y'all be awesome.
Later.
She's not right. She's not right for you. Not even close to what you let go. She's got you hanging round like some locket she found. You've got to put her